Oh, right. It's definitely getting colder. Just had to go out and buy some glove liners because it's getting pretty chilly in the morning. And the problem is, it's cold in the morning, but really hot in the evening. So you have to make a choice between the winter gear and the summer gear. So you either freeze in the morning or you sweat on the way back. So decided to get some layers instead. So I've got my summer gloves. Just got some glove liners, and that does the trick. Takes the edge off everything. In the UK, you'd have to pay, I think it's 50p to put air in your tyres, and here it's free. I've never once seen anywhere where you have to pay for it, and it's really good. I'm not sure if it's law or just that's the way it is. I don't know. But they should do the same in the UK because it's one of those important things that you need to do. Do you ever get that horrible feeling once you've put air in your tyre that you've forgotten to do the cap back up? That's what I feel right now. A lot of bikes this morning. Enjoying the cooler air and the colder tyres. Setting off half an hour later makes such a difference in the traffic. It's like completely different. It's like completely different, man. Yeah, it's completely different. Such a contrast. I keep banging on about it, but starting the day on a motorcycle it's something special. You just feel so much more alive afterwards, just ready for the day, happy. You know, otherwise if you're on the train or something, you just get to work and you're tired and miserable before you've even started. Like, yeah, sometimes you have to deal with traffic, but I don't know. Even that is, oh, what a beautiful silhouette of the city in the background there. Yeah, even doing that, it just feels better. I was so tired before I left the house, and now I just feel alive again. It's better than coffee. And filtering sure is fun. It's a good place to have a bike in Sydney or New South Wales because there's so many good roads outside of the city. But also just getting through the city, it makes your life so much easier. My wife and I, we took a car down to the Royal National Park on the weekend, and it just took forever to get through the traffic. And yeah, you end up using half your day trying to get places. Whereas if I did the same journey on this, I don't know, you'd probably take off a good half an hour. Just because you can get through all the traffic. And yeah, when you do get out, like yesterday for example, I was out up in the mountains again, and just riding with a colleague and a mate. And yeah, it's just so much fun. There's so many bikes that go out, and they're out just enjoying the day. Yeah, lots of nice cars too. Can anyone tell me what the red lights are for on mirrors? Is that them braking? It seems to be a new thing. See, look, what's that red light for? Is it trying to tell him that I'm here? Because it's gone off now, saying don't change lanes. I want to get alongside again and see if it comes back on. Let's test it now. Ready? Yeah, and it came back on. Oh, there you go, figured it out. Yeah, I've seen it a few times now. I think because my obsession with bikes has just taken me completely out of the car industry. I just don't know what any of that stuff is. But yeah, I guess that's pretty good actually. Because that's one of the biggest worries most of the time, is that cars don't see you and change lanes on top of me. Yeah, it happened a few times. So I put a slip-on on, which is slightly louder, not too loud. Which has helped, but it still happens. Whereas, I guess if that system is there specifically for that, that's actually pretty awesome. I do believe there's such thing as going too far with technology. Like to a stage where people aren't using their brains anymore, they're just, I don't know, relying on technology. Actually, that's something you see in America with all the stop signs. If you're in any other country, when somebody's coming to a junction, you'll notice that they're looking up either direction. So for example, at this crossroads, you'd see people like looking from side to side to see that nothing's coming, and they can keep going. Whereas in America, you notice because of all the stop signs, it's such a nanny state that nobody looks. They wait until they get to the line, stop, then look. Which obviously creates traffic because you're stopping without needing to. For example, with this technology, you end up teaching yourself or getting trained not to look with your own eyes, and one day it's not going to work and you're going to take somebody out. I think there is such a thing as too much technology, or babying people with too much technology anyway. But I guess you have to weigh up, is it going to be filtering in a car? Go on, mate. Is it going to save more lives than it's going to cost? And the answer is probably that it's going to save more lives, so I guess it's a good thing in that way. This is one frustrating part of filtering in Sydney though, not being allowed to go down the inside there when there's so much room. But it's just not worth it. The tickets here are pretty harsh. For doing that, I'd probably get over $300 fine and points. Well, there you go, folks. You learn something new every day. Mirror lights that detect if somebody's next to you. Talking to people pulling alongside or pulling into you and stuff like that. That's actually why I started putting the camera back on the helmet. And just in case, you know, if anything ever happens, you can record it and prove what went wrong. And people keep saying, oh yeah, but it works both ways. Like if you do something and it's your fault, then the camera's going to prove that too. I just feel like well, just don't do something stupid then. Like, it's not that difficult. I mean, speeding and stuff is just completely pointless in Sydney because of the huge fines. So I find 99% of the time, I'm sticking to the road laws. So it makes more sense to have the camera on. Because I'd say a near miss happens probably once a day. Or maybe not quite that much, but it's a fair amount. So to be able to prove that, that it's not you in the wrong, then yeah, that's a good thing. And something smells wonderful here. It smells like fried chicken. No, it doesn't. It smells like Asian food, actually. Like the Chinese barbecue roast pork. Or Char Siu Bao, that's what it is. Yeah, Char Siu Bao. For those that don't know, Char Siu Bao is probably the most delicious either. Char Siu Bao is the most delicious dim sum dish. It's stay there. It's like a white fluffy bun, and it's got the Chinese roast pork inside, and it's absolutely delicious. I'm getting hungry. Anyway, where was I? Yeah, camera. Good thing. I recommend everybody getting one. Just don't do anything stupid. What else? I was reading an article on the BBC a couple of days ago about how they want to introduce forced speed limits in the UK. So it just physically won't let you speed, and I think it's actually been passed, and they're going to start working towards that. And that just sounds unbearable. Yeah, as if having 3 million speed cameras isn't enough. You're just going to force everybody to do the speed limit. I think they said at first it's going to be more of like a visual warning, and that's going to slowly evolve into that. Oh, just what's the point? Just taking every ounce of fun away from driving. And when you turn it into this boring thing, it's not safe. I'm a believer that if you make things too slow, too safe, just like that thing with the stop signs, people just switch off or they get angry. And it's true, when you're stuck in traffic, you just get so mad, and that makes people drive more erratically. Well, you've got both sides of the coin. Like, if you've got people driving erratically and you've got people who are asleep, and the combination of the two is fucking disaster. So yeah, I believe in having higher speeds that keep people awake, you know, keep people on their toes. Like, not necessarily have a dangerous speed. Yeah, every country at the moment seems to be trying to reduce speed, even though the speed limits were created at a time when cars had pretty basic technology. The stopping distance were enormous, and now cars are getting safer and safer. There's very few older generation cars left on the road. Logic would tell you that, okay, cars are safer, stopping distances have been reduced massively, all sorts of different technologies that, you know, tyres are better. It's not the same as it was back then, yet for some reason speed limits are getting lower. It just doesn't make sense to me. And as a result, you find more people are just on their phones when they drive, and either that or just angry. And the problem with that is it becomes such a great way to create revenue. And I'm not saying anything, but it does make you question why things are the way they are. I don't know if I'll include this in the video. And yeah, no, I'm not going to say anything. But it does make you wonder. Oh, that probably didn't make any sense what I'm rambling on about, because I'm like, shall I say this, shall I not? Maybe, maybe not. Another side effect of the speed limit issue is something I've noticed here. I spend so much time looking at my speedo than I do looking at where the hell I'm going, and very obviously that's not good. But you just can't not look at your speedo the whole time, because you're just freaking out. Another issue with modern cars is they're so much more powerful than they were back then. You know, like even on this bike, the tiniest change in rotation on my wrist can be quite a vast difference in speed. So if I'm not paying attention, or not, maybe not paying attention is the right way of saying it, but if I'm, you know, if I'm concentrating on where I'm going and yeah, I slightly rotate more, then that's a big fucking speeding ticket I'm going to get. And this is a broken white line, so this counts as overtaking, I believe. So yeah, anyway, that's enough ranting. What have we talked about? Mirror lights, the system, Char Siu Baos. So here's a little bonus clip of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Got to cross this to get home every day, and it's normally quite busy, so we'll see what it's like today. And if you look carefully, you'll be able to see the Opera House on the right hand side just over the barrier, and there it is, the Harbour Bridge, otherwise known as the coat hanger. You can pay to go up to the top of that if you like. It'll set you back around $300, so it's not cheap. Some people say it's worthwhile, other people say don't bother. I've never tried it. There you go, you can see the spikes of the Opera House over there. Now for some reason the left lane on this bridge is always the fastest. There are Australian flags flying high. Yeah, let's get an under view. Oh, you can see some people there climbing up. There you go. Ciao for now.